Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Donkey Kong Country. I decided for the next game that I want to play on the channel was the first in the Country franchise, because yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you might be getting tired of a bunch of Mario and Sonic. So, yeah, so anyway, Cranky Kong there, for a fun fact for the few of you that do not know, is actually the original Donkey Kong from the arcade days. And the Donkey Kong that we play as in the series up to this point is his grandson. Donkey Kong Jr. is MIA. Actually, kind of like the Kirby franchise, Donkey Kong lore is kind of dark. But anyway, this is not a 100% playthrough, mostly because, one, I have no idea where everything is, and two, we, getting everything doesn't affect the ending in any way. Also, if you saw that little darkened part of the ground, where on the ground, there's a metal barrel in there, but we'll get more on metal barrels when we actually come to our first. So the Donkey Kong franchise, it's your standard... Stupid coconut. Anyway, the Donkey Kong franchise is your standard platformer. Also, here's Rambi the Rhino. Yeah, it's your standard platformer. You play as two Kongs, and you get hit, as you saw with Donkey Kong. They immediately run away. You have two Kongs, you get two hits. If you have the most hits you can take, really, as long as you have an animal buddy, is 3 hits. There are 5 animal buddies in the game. Well, 4.5, depending on how you look at it. And yes, I wanted those bananas. There's Rambi the Rhino, Winky the Frog, Espresso the Ostrich, and Ungard the Swordfish. I almost forgot about him, even though he's the only one that appears in the first 3 games. And then Squawks the Parrot. Well, I guess that's not true. Squawks appears in all 3 games, but in this game he functions differently, but we'll get there when we get there. So the 2 Kongs you play as is obviously Donkey Kong, and then his nephew / best friend Diddy Kong. Also, I believe these guys here are critters. The armadillos, I believe they're called Armos. They're one of the enemies that I usually forget the name of, but whatever. Obviously, one of these barrels had to be used somewhere, but I didn't know where. I don't know, like I said, I don't know where everything is, but whatever. Now, Donkey Kong is your stronger of the characters. He can take out enemies that Diddy can't, or Diddy can. It takes 2 hits, like with the armadillos there. Whereas Donkey Kong could just take them out in one hit. Diddy Kong has a better jump, better control. He's faster. He's usually the character you want to play as if you want to rush through the game. The jungle hijinks. I reckon there's some stuff there Rambi the Rhino could help you with. There's nothing else to tell you. So anyway, Cranky Kong, unlike his youth, he now takes more of a backseat role where he gives you advice or tips about where bonus stages are in the game. And yeah, that's really all he's good for. You're only going to see him once. I just wanted to show him off. I think the only Kong I didn't show off in this Let's Play was Funky Kong. He just allows you to travel back to worlds that you've previously gone through. Now, the big bad typically in the Donkey Kong franchise, not counting Country Returns and Country Tropical Freeze, are the Kremlings. They need to come back. They've appeared in at least 7 mainline games, if you consider the Donkey Kong Land games, at least, if you consider them part of the mainline games. And they're led by King K-Rool. The bees there are called zingers. These are slippas. So now about what the Kongs can do. Donkey Kong has the most abilities he can do, not by much. Yes, he is stronger than Diddy Kong, but he also has a ground pound. We'll call it. No, screw it. We'll call it a ground slap. I have no idea what it's called. It can take out enemies. It can actually, if you hit in the right spot, you can also get bananas. In Jungle Hijinks there, so the first stage, if I didn't, say I didn't use Rambi to land in those spots, I could have used Donkey Kong's, ground slap to find those bananas. Is it a useful skill? No, not really, but it's something, I guess. He also can... Yeah. He also, if you use it on an enemy, as you'll see later, he can get... If he uses it on an enemy, he can actually get bananas from them. That's Chomps Jr. The previous fish that you saw is called a bite size. This is a croctopus. Chomps Jr. again. Up here is Chomps. Yes, I played this game enough times that I memorized all the enemies' names for at least this one. Those beavers that you saw, they're called Naughties. Clambo. Bye, Ungard. Thanks for your help, though. The only one I'm not sure of so far is Armo. Is the Armadillo, but we'll see if I got it right when we reach the end of the game. So the first world, Congo Jungle, is literally a good. It's a good introduction to what you're dealing with, kind of world. Not in a good introduction to everything, but a good introduction overall. Also, for those of us that learn this too late after playing this game a million times, the Kongs can jump in midair. Didn't care about the bonus stage, I just wanted to show it off. Now, the nice thing is, compared to the other two country games, you do not have to... That sucked. Donkey Kong, help! I'm coming, Diddy. There we go, let's go. I don't know what voice to give Donkey Kong. Anyway, the nice thing, like I was saying, in countries 2 and 3, you have to finish the bonus stage. In this one, you just have to get into it. See, there you go, banana. And in country 2, getting all the bonus stages and all that fun stuff will get you the true ending. This one, it gets you nothing, just bragging rights, I guess. Now, I've played these games many times, despite later performances would suggest otherwise, but what can you do? Recording curse, There's a barrel somewhere back there that would launch you over here, but that's okay. prefer to use Diddy Kong. So Funky Flight's to the left of us, and here's Candy's save point, but we'll worry about that later. And now we're in Very Naughty's lair, which is just a giant naughty. Be careful when you attack him, I guess. And he's done. Now his head gets crushed by the giant banana. He's like, yeah, I did it! I totally helped, even though Diddy put in all the work. Winky's Walkway. It's a good introduction to this type of stage. Now, I'm thinking... So, okay. First of all, here's Winky the Frog. He only appears in this game. And possibly Donkey Kong Land. My experiences with Donkey Kong Land are kind of limited. He gives you a high jump. He can take out zingers. Like, he's the only animal buddy that can jump on them. I think Gramby actually can. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, oh, well, that's okay. Bye, Winky. Thanks for your help. We didn't land on the zinger. So, here's a bonus stage. These bonus stages, you play as long as you collect 3 animal buddy tokens, will bring you to a bonus stage where you play as the animal buddy and collect all these these tokens. All right, fine. Now, in each one of them, there is a multiplier that you can get to. If you're farming for lives, if you're not using Jungle Hijinks' trick where you go into the stage, go into Donkey Kong's house, then exit the stage, this is the next best way to do it. Where you come in, you collect a bunch of these, grab the multiplier, and then continue to collect more. You do get a few extras depending on how many are on screen when the timer ends. Express was the best and easy one to do it with. Rambies is unfortunately the worst, but we'll get there when we get there, and I'll explain then. Now, one thing I'm considering to do is I'm thinking I want to at least do an extra part, like at least 2 extra parts to show off Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color and Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Advance. I'm considering it. No, yeah, just to show some differences. Mostly because, oh, that might be fun, and nobody really ever talks about the country, the Game Boy Color version. And yes, this was just a quick shortcut for this stage. That stage is a pain in the ass for children. It's also apparently a pain in the ass for me. I wanted to show off the full stage, so we're going back to it. And I did die a numerous amount of times in this stage. I was not proud of myself, but I blame the recording curse, and I imagine how much worse it would have been if I was recording the Game Boy Color version, because the Game Boy Color version's physics are different from the SNES and GBA versions. They're more akin to Donkey Kong Land, so yeah, this stage was a pain in the ass when on that one when I did a run of that game last year. Also, for some reason, actually, we'll get to that when we get to that. Never mind. Withdrawn. Don't worry, I cut out most of the fluff. I typically keep a few deaths in. Ow. Ah! Donkey Kong, avenge me! So, that enemy you just saw there, these Kremlings all on carts, for some reason, rather than me call a critter in a cart or something, they're just called Crash.
Sorry, Donkey Kong. You're just not a draw anymore. Hey, he's still got it.
Sorry, Diddy. Donkey couldn't avenge you. I have no idea what I should make these two sound like. Beyond Diddy beat sounding like some kind of kid. Anyway, as long as as long as you get that balloon, you have infinite lives technically here, if you keep dying here. When I played this stage as a kid, minus that shortcut, it was a pain in the ass. Yeah, I typically like to not have. I'll cut out if there's a lot of deaths, I'll cut them out. If there's just a few deaths, I'll keep them in, and I'll definitely try to keep in deaths that are funny. And there we go, we're done. Bouncy Bonanza. Go away. Hey, look, it's a shiny Beedrill. Never mind. Oh, we fainted it. We didn't catch it, everybody. Yeah, you want this too because to grab that K. I'm pretty sure if you timed your jump right, you could just jump on the Kremlin and get it. So. Yeah, you can apparently break down a wall just by putting the barrel down. If you hold the down button and release Y, you can just put the barrel down. It's funny to do with the TNT barrels, because after you pick them up and then put them down, they will explode. Like, you'll see them shake, and then all of a sudden... So I think this game really wants players to like Winky, because he's the animal buddy where I seem to know the most locations for. And most of them in this world. Like, I think after this world, we'll see Winky one more time. Maybe 2 more times. Yeah, so as you've seen, jumping on the shiny Beedrills. So I mean the red zingers. So the yellow ones are obviously normal Beedrill, and the green ones are the shiny ones. Does that mean all the other colors? Because I think there's like 2 other colors, I believe, are does that make them Gen 10 a Gen 10 variant with its shiny equivalent? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, stop and go, where we are introduced to the Rock Croc. Yeah, you hit these barrels that have stop and go on them, they'll stop moving and go down into a pile of mud. Now, if you're in a position where the lights come on and you're still going and they start to come up, don't be alarmed because they don't have a hitbox until they're fully standing. Also in the GBA version, you can apparently use your Donkey Kong's ground slap to you can use Donkey Kong's you can use his ground slap to actually take them out when they're in their mud form. And these little guys are called clat traps. I feel bad for that Rock Croc and this one too. Any of them that are on those platforms where they're just kind of running back and forth, getting nowhere. It's like, oh, you poor bastards. There. Alright, so, now that we're done that, now we'll show off Candy's save point. It's literally just, well, a save point. Now, the one interesting thing I find, well, a lot of this game is interesting. The K, by the way, the K is in this bonus stage. See? There you go. Those guys are Crucias. I forget what those ones... I think they're just naughties. I forget if they actually have an actual name. Anyway, it could be special, like the critters that are called Crash. Anyway, in this game, if you play two-player competitive, I think the option's called. Player 2's team is yellow. Whereas in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, the team is purple, except for Kiddy Kong. He's like, his onesie is teal. So here's on Guard's bonus stage. You somehow wound up in an ocean full of blood, I guess. Now he's one I actually, because I never really knew where his multiplier was. He was one I definitely had to look into before I recorded this, because I wanted to at least show it off. And the best way to go about this, this one, is to literally go as fast, well, even with all of them, go as fast as you can. And there's his multiplier. So yeah, don't do what I'm doing. Well, now do what I'm trying to do. Hit Y repeatedly to do his attack. he's like, how? Crucia. Crucia. When it comes to bonus stages, if it wasn't obvious, even though I'm pretty sure it's obvious, I'll show off what I can. Now we finally saw Diddy Kong's victory animation. Instead of him getting all mad and throwing his hat on the ground and stomping on it. Zip up. Ow. Yeah, that's fine. And we needed the tire. Yeah, we need, so up there, even though, spoiler alert, something's gonna happen. Winky's up there. See? Anyway, it's actually kind of funny. If you lose a Kong and they're running away, if there's some bananas in the trail, they'll grab them. But it's also kind of funny, because seeing as Donkey Kong is supposed to be apparently courageous, it's also kind of a funny thought to imagine him, this big muscle-bound gorilla, running away after he gets hit by, like, a naughty. Shit, run! He barely touched me. I'm so out of here. Might as well rescue Donkey Kong, because you can't grab a barrel while you're riding on the buddy. So, in the Game Boy Color version of this game, literally, I don't know why they chose this direction. You literally just play as the animal buddy when you get to their crate. Whereas in Donkey Kong Land, you don't. It'll show the character just riding on them. Well, okay, fine. And then in Donkey Kong Country Advance, thank you, Winky, both of the Kongs will actually ride on the buddy. It's a good thing it makes sense for rhinos, because rhinos, I imagine, would be able to carry a monkey and a gorilla without issue. Anyway, meet Master Necky. He's just a big jerk of a bird who spits his coconuts at you. And he's done. Donkey Kong will do his own little dance while we do our victory pose. And now we'll go to World 3. So, and that will conclude Part 1. So with all that said, I will see you all in the next part. Until then, you all take care.